Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 5.10, object. Actually, in the previous concepts in this chapter, I explained all the elements contextually, but I didn't focus on each and every element separately. Now this is the time. Now we have to discuss the features and functionalities of each and every element of WOOP practically and illustratively. Just to take it as an opportunity. Now, with by studying the previous concepts and all that, I believe that we have complete knowledge over that. Simply that is not enough. Now you must focus on each and every element of WOOP, and you have to thoroughly understand their features and functionalities as well as limitations, and you have to own them. Then only you will become a perfect WOOP programmer. Okay, now first let us take up object. Actually, whenever you have to develop a project, software project in WOOP, then you have to first understand the problem and define it. Thereafter, in analysis, you have to identify objects. In object-oriented analysis, you have to identify object in the domain. This is the very crucial job. According to my experience, 99.9 of the student community who are in programming domains, they do not know how to identify object. Simply writing Java code, they feel that they are writing object-oriented program, simply defining one class and set of objects they define. That is not that. The crucial job in this is identifying object. Identifying object means, I give you a simple example. Actually, already I gave you this example many times. If you take a building, you have to analyze that it is composition of rooms. Actually, in top-down modular approach, in FOP, how we think of which specialists we require. Here, in this object-oriented analysis, we view a building as a composition of rooms. You see any building on the earth, it is nothing but composition of rooms. One more example, you take a classroom. A classroom is composition of students. Do you agree with that? You have to identify student. Student is the building block. So, by composition of students, we form a class. In the same manner, if you take a school is composition of classes. Classes. That means each class is the building block. In a school, there are 10 classes. Each class is having 3 sections. Then there are 30 classes. It is composition of 30 objects. This first you have to understand, this analysis. First, if you identify the building block, building program is not a big thing. This in WOOP approach, we follow bottom-up approach. First, we identify a brick building block, and by composing that and all that, any huge construction we can make. Okay, in that we have to first consider the object. Object is the real thing. It is a building block. So let us first consider the definition. An object is a self-contained entity. It is a self-contained entity like your TV, like your car, and like a person, like a tree. It is a self-contained entity and with a unique name. Just let us list out. Every object is a self-contained entity. Second one, it is having a unique name like a person. Every person is having a unique name. In the same manner, every object has a unique name, and it contains a set of properties, a set of properties. These are known as attributes, state, properties. Actually, in programming, we call them as data members or variables. Depending on the context, we use that. So, all these names state. State means nothing but defining a set of properties, attributes, properties, data members, or variables. All these are synonymous, but depending on the context, we use the appropriate word. Okay, now we are talking generally. That's why we are calling them as attributes or properties. Okay, or otherwise state. Next, they contain a set of behaviors. Behavior is nothing but a function. So every object contains a set of behaviors which act upon the state, which act upon the properties. Or otherwise, in the programming language, every object contains a set of data members and a set of functions which act upon the data members. So, don't confuse with the terms, because depending on the context we use multiple terms and all that, but all these are synonymous, that you have to understand. Now, these four you remember. It is self-contained entity with a unique name which contains a set of properties and which contains a set of behaviors which act upon act upon the properties or data members. In this manner, you have to understand object definition. A definition is nothing but a blueprint. If you first define, definition means it need not be a complex sentence and all that. Many students are having that feeling. That is not correct. You dissect it. You should cover all the aspects of the definition. It is a blueprint. Once you understand the blueprint, and it is a building block for your learning, that point you remember. Now, let us take a bank account for the example. Bank account, it is a self-contained entity. Its name is bank account. In this, what are the properties or data members? Customer's name, account type. Account type means it may be SBI savings bank account, current account, a recurring account, overdraft account, etc. and all that. Next, account number. Every account is having a unique number, and account we start for maintaining a balance. So, a balance. At every time, certain balance is there. That is current balance. These are the properties. And one more thing. Actually, set of functions. In Java, in C, C++, we call them as functions, and Java, these are called methods. Methods are nothing but functions, but refined functions you have to understand. Now you see, what are the activities? Definitely you deal with a bank account. Then what are the operations you make? Deposit, you deposit amount, you withdraw amount, and every time you balance the amount after deposit or withdraw, and sometimes you may close the account. So these are the operations we perform which act upon the data members. So now this definition, this is the example. In this manner you have to explain. How to explain? Because in interviews and all that, the interviewer should learn from you. That is my objective. Actually, the interviewers and all that, your seniors from the same school of thought, this is totally a different one. So you explain it, you own it. How you are explaining your real life examples, experiences and all that, concepts also in the same manner you have to explain. And after the definition, I have to tell you few points about this. The first thing is every noun, every noun in the universe can be declared an object, can be treated as an object. Understand? In this context, one point I have to tell you. Object means always you think of some physical object. You come out of that. Actually, if you are not convinced with this and all that, it leads to confusion. Actually, one psychological point I have to tell you. Until unless you convince on one point, you cannot own it. Here, always object means everybody thinks of a physical object. But student, okay, is a physical object. Then okay, a TV, a physical object. Car, a physical object. That is okay. But student's mark statement, you are not convinced. Salary statement of an employee, you are not convinced. So, in this context, I have to tell you a secret. Our programs deal with the data. They never deal with the physical student. They deal with the data of the student. That means it's his name, his roll number, class number, marks, grade, etc., and all that. If you come to employee, he never deal with a physical body of the employee's name, employee's designation, a company, salary, basic, DA, etc., and all that. Understand? So our programs deal with the data and corresponding functions, not with the physical thing. So you must be convinced in such fashion. Now I think if I call student as an object, your brain accepts it. You are convinced. You have no objection. But you must be in a position to understand student report also. Student report also an object. Then you will become a programmer. Then you can own the concept. Otherwise, some obstruction, some doubt always create a bottleneck for owning the concept. In the same way, if I call employee, then you can accept him as an object. Now salary statement, you have some resentment to accept it as an object. You come out of that. You come out of that, and every noun, all these are nouns. For every noun, you must be in a position to define into an object, convert into an object. So then you have to identify what are the properties and what are the functions which act upon the properties you have to identify. Before that, if you want to become a real object oriented programmer, whenever a problem domain is there, then you have to identify object, then write the program. First mental work, thereafter come to physical work. Coding is not at all the entire programming. Already explained to you. Coding comes in the fourth phase of the programming. Fourth phase. Before that, three core phases are there. Those are understanding and defining problem, analysis and algorithm. This is all mental work. The all three phases together we call as design. First become a designer. Design. In classroom, coding may be difficult. Once you join industry, it is 90% copy and paste job. No great skills are required. Here one thing I am telling you, I am not derogating the importance of coding and all that, but I am talking about the mental work. Then only you will become a leader. You can climb the ladder in management.